Hi, kids. Welcome to On the Patio. I'm Dean, and this afternoon, coming all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, we've got the Tummies. Well, a little more specifically, we've got Judd, Dana Radford, Sandy Gennaro, Philip Shouse. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us today.
Hello, lovely.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us on.
Well, I understand there's a new album out, 930 Girl. I've listened to it in its entirety a few times, actually, and I've showed it off to a few friends. And the response is overwhelming with some of the reflections and the nuances that come to our mind as consumers, not just musicians, but as consumers. And there's a I call it comfort music. It's vintage a little bit. There's some good reminiscence of things from years past in this fold of what you folks have produced and put together. And yeah, I wanted to let you know I have listened to it, and I've enjoyed watching the videos, because obviously musicians coming together making music is very important. It takes a team, but when you watch the video, you can tell you guys are really having fun together.
Especially Sandy with his pom-poms.
My Hawaiian maracas.
I love it.
Well, Hawaiian maracas, that's what those are?
Is that what those were, Sam?
Yeah, they're
With the pom-poms?
Yeah, you want to see them? Want to see them?
I want to see them.
Sure, yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
I didn't know they were actually it was a percussionist. I thought it was just a prop.
I knew that they were shakers with pom-poms, but I didn't realize that they were, I thought they were, I didn't realize they were Hawaiian.
Wow.
I thought they were Staten Island.
Yeah, Staten Island Shakers. Those little
Staten Island
Shakers.
Staten Island Shakers.
Staten Island Maracas.
That's Sandy's new band, the Staten Island.
Staten Island Shakers.
I love it.
I actually brought these back from Hawaii.
Oh, my
wow, those are great.
God, Sandy.
And not lacking any color.
Those
are my Hawaiian maracas.
You can't really misplace those, can you?
Wait a minute, I didn't have my monitors in. Go ahead, Phil.
I was like, you can't really misplace those, can you?
Say that again.
It wasn't worth it.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't have my earbuds in.
Hey, Dino. What's cool is that Philip edited that video. That was in the height of lockdown.
Oh.
Right.
And we were just
was
itching for something to do, and Philip had. Did you just get Final Cut Pro and you were like just all into doing? Philip had done some really cool videos, and I said to Philip, how do you feel about doing, like, if we do the classic quarantine video and we all shoot ourselves, and can you edit something? He's like, yeah. I'm like,
it was
cool. Have at it, my friend. And he did.
Just me and some other guys had done one or two, and I was kind of getting the hang of, of really
And those
basic.
were really good too, Phil, by the way. Those were really good.
Oh, thanks. I mean, it's below amateur, whatever level that is. I'm at still.
We gotta start
but it was a lot of fun, and everybody just shot themselves, and it was right. It was like in June or July or something, wasn't it?
It was in the heat of quarantine.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like maybe June, honey.
I think it was June.
Yeah.
And by the way, I wouldn't call it amateur. I'd call it completely charming and really cool.
It was very cool. I got so many compliments on those videos, Philip.
Yeah,
oh, good deal.
We did too. It's up on the website, Phil. So it's like your second calling could be, video producer.
Who knows if we'll ever get back out to doing stuff? And I guess I could do something like that. I was a summer because I was hot. I was sweating my ass off in a turtleneck on my balcony.
Yes, you were.
Right.
That was very entertaining, and I think it not being overproduced brings the organic level of what all of you are about, and how important the music is at this time. I know that this has been a project that wasn't just slapped together. This is a few years in the making, and so for you folks to come together and do this, and absolutely, I don't want to disregard or not include Jeremy to the fold. He can't be with us at the moment. Hopefully he can join us later, but hopefully Jeremy Asbrock will join us here shortly.
He lives lives just over there. So
I tell you what, I'll be right back. I'll just run and get him.
Sure.
Kind of had the car, so he didn't have wheels.
Oh, that's okay. No, I've enjoyed really the vibe, like I had mentioned, of what you folks have put together. And there's decades of experience and talent and nurturing, everybody's craft as musicians, singers, songwriters. It's not just, hey, let's just get together and do something. Sandy, you've been in the game for many years, and obviously you've played and toured with some greats, but taking that out of the equation and doing this project, it means a lot because of the camaraderie involved in this project. No matter who you've played with in the past or who you've toured with or sessioned, Phil, you would probably be in the same boat. I know, Judd, you've done the same. The past of what you've done is very important to where you are today, but this project is totally separate and aside from that, I think. And I want to hear about the album and the single that you folks are showcasing, and what do you think this music means to your audience in contrast to what it means to you folks as the artists involved?
I can answer that.
Go ahead, Dana.
I think what it means to the people is the exact same thing as what it means to us. Yeah. Honestly, to us, it was the available space to write songs that we loved. Judd and I came to Nashville, wanted to be country writers and singers, songwriters, and we pitched for 10 years country music, and we heard every no on the row. And finally, we just decided, let's do something that speaks way more to us and closer to our hearts and really what our roots are. And so we got back to the basics and we started writing for this project, and it was so easy, and we just laughed and we cried with fun and ease. And I think that that's exactly what, when people listen to it, they get that. I think that they feel the fun energy. It's not complicated, but it is complex in sounds and things. I truly believe that how we feel about it, the world should feel about it, because it's just about feel good and giving the world something fun again.
Right. No, I totally agree. And Sandy, you being on this album, obviously you've played different genres. Phil, the same. This is a different wheelhouse. So,
yes and no.
Yes, but no. Did you say this, Phil? Yes, but no.
Yeah, but not really, man. I mean, as far as ease of recording, I mean, that kind of music, I mean, I know exactly what to do. Right. And so do we all. We get in there and we learn the chords and stuff, and we really only do 2 or 3 takes of anything before it's, we have the basics down. That's why it sounds exciting and fun. It's because we're laughing and we're having so much fun. It's just like, I've never done a recording so easy than all the Tummies stuff, because I know exactly what to do. Jeremy and I know who to do. Okay, you're doing that part? Okay, I'll do this part. And it's just, we all exactly know what we're supposed to do, and it goes down like, it's so simple.
It's not only that everybody knows what to do in this material, but everybody else loves it.
Sure.
Yeah. You know what I mean? There's never any pushback. There's never any kind of, whatever. And for me, the material brings me back to it's full circle to when February 9th, 1964, when I seen them on Ed Sullivan. Yeah. It's always been my favorite music, and Ringo has always been my favorite drummer. I've admired the music, that kind of music. I played in the Monkees. It's that kind of music. Dave Clark 5 is that kind of music. But now I get to play in a band that has songs in that vein. Not only that, but the icing on the cake is the people involved in the project are awesome. As people, as friends outside of the instruments. And then when they put the instruments on, they're very, very talented. So it's a you know, it's a alignment of the stars, if you will. There's a lot of different ingredients that go into why that album sounds so fresh and new to you.
Yeah, and if I may interject, and this is also what's important to go, speaking to Philip's point, that he knows exactly what to do. And Sandy's a huge baseball fan, as am I. And, you know, you read about the great managers in baseball and like the first year managers who take over a team like Buck Showalter did with the Yankees back in the early 90s. If you listen to their interviews, they're like, these guys are all professionals. I don't tell them what to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
They know what to do.
Right.
Like, am I going to like have a clubhouse meeting and say, you got, it's like, no, these guys know exactly what the F is going on. They know this kind of music through and through. So we just go, I mean, it gets to the point where I just do sloppy acoustic demos on my iPhone.
Voice memos, and we send them to the boys. Swear to God.
And that's it.
Swear to God, they're acoustic demos. Judd, yeah, it's like push play, we sing into the phone, and then send them, and then we go in the studio, and they bring them to life. It's like we don't labor.
We've maybe rehearsed twice for pre-production.
No, I don't even think we did that.
Have we ever
rehearsed? Those were for shows. For recording.
Yeah, we did.
For recording.
Yeah.
For recording, we just get those sent. But you can hear, like, in those demos, they're good, even though it's like you can hear everything in there. And you go, oh, okay, well, I know what this is going to feel like. And then, you know, like I said, it's the easiest music I've gotten to record, and, like, it's just seamless. It's like automatic, you know. And the songs are and plus the songs are so fucking good,
which I think
too.
is a good thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, they are. They're just everything is just so good. It's like new Tummies stuff. Oh, I can't wait to hear this. I'm like, how's it going to be? It's like, ooh, what's it going to sound like, and what do I get to do on it?
I agree with you, Philip. I mean, when I hear those acoustic demos, and I hear Judd counting it off 1 or 2, and he hits the guitar with his. I already, as I'm hearing it, I already picture myself. I know what I'm going to play.
I love it.
You know, in a general sense. Of course, we tweak as we play together in our parts, but it's awesome.
Oh, it definitely shows, Sandy, Phil, you guys, in not just listening but watching the videos. It gives a good reference, but listening without seeing the video, you can picture in your head, because I think a lot of us do that. We assimilate, or we like to relate to a song. You know, where you heard something. Sandy, you mentioned you knew exactly where you got that vibe back in '64, and I think a few drummers in your realm, Kenny Aronoff and a few other people that grew up inspired by that landmark date that took the world by storm and changed music forever.
Absolutely.
You know, you don't have to be a certain age to understand that music can be timeless, and it gives people that feeling of being interested, you know, it's just very fun stuff.
There's more to come.
Well, I can't wait for more to come. That's all
we're
I
doing
have
some
to
more.
say.
We're doing some more tunes tomorrow night, I think.
Can't wait.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we're having an acoustic rehearsal tomorrow night. We've got the second album already in the can with some surplus tunes. We have about 17.
We've already written the whole next album and then some. Swear to God. Juddy and I over coffee this morning finished another song this morning. It's like it just. I wish that this is all we could do every day, all day, every day. Just I want my little commune with Phil and San and Jer and Juddy, and just be in it, and just write. And I want my castle and like live in it with my people and just make music.
The album is available through mainstream. It's on the site that we're going to put up for everyone to see. Social media. What do you folks have going on for social media? Well,
we have an IG and Facebook page and everything, but basically the album is available on all the digital platforms, you know, Amazon, iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify. But we will be selling vinyl and CDs from our website. which I think you're going to post. It's the Tummies.com.
Tummies.com.
It's not that hard to remember.
Exactly.
And so we'll ship you out vinyl and CDs, and you get any purchase of vinyl, you get a free bumper sticker.
Perfect.
Yeah, you guys haven't seen them. Johnny just ordered bumper stickers.
Perfect.
And we're going to, one of the things we're doing tomorrow night is that we're going to autograph about 10 or 15 copies. And so you're going to have, I mean, you think about, Phil and Sandy and Jeremy, and I know to your point, but they've played with some pretty heavy hitters. So I like to think their autographs are worth something, and I say that with love, but I mean, I'm proud to be playing with Sandy, Phil, and Jeremy. I mean, I'm in awe of their talent and their musicality and their sensibility. And, Dana and I are just thrilled to be playing with these guys. There's no one else we could do it with.
They were handpicked, swear to God.
We auditioned for them. They did not audition for us.
It's one of my favorite memories of all time.
Yeah, the first a really fun song came out of that first hangout.
I know, and we have to actually go back and look at that. That was we only played that one, I think, live one time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
does anyone have the fun that I can? If you do, please call me tonight.
Does anyone have the fun that I can?
Yeah, and then the next fun. Half is fun.
Half is fun.
Half is fun.
I am. If you are, then call me tonight. Okay. And then, Dean, I won't go into too much detail, but if you, as Philip reminded me the other day on a text message, if you Google the phrase hot knifing, that came into
came into play a little bit. A little bit.
Oh, God.
About that much.
Oh, good times.
Too good.
Good times.
Too
My
good.
favorite people, swear to God, favorite people.
Well,
Hey,
go ahead.
To talk about drummers, since you're a drummer and Sandy's a drummer, obviously. Sandy, do you know Liberty DeVito?
Yeah.
Are you buds?
We're not really close friends. We never had dinner together, but we've run into each other and talk online, and we run into each other. His wife used to be the accountant or the road accountant for the Monkees. So she was on the road. And every time we played around New York or Connecticut, he used to come and hang out on the bus and whatever. But yeah, really, really a nice guy. He's a gumbare. He's a gumbare.
Yes. No, Sandy,
Yeah.
Liberty was on the show not too long ago, and that's probably halfway through its post edit for it to go to air, and so is Kenny, and another neighbor of yours, which is airing this Saturday, is the legendary Billy Sheehan.
Oh, awesome!
But no,
awesome.
It's interesting to see. Even though everyone individually has their own career path in the rearview mirror, and obviously we're going to keep positive vibes alive for the future, whatever that endeavor or that matrix might be, I do believe it will come back around. It's going to be a different world, of course, but it's important to realize that everyone has a lot to bring to the table. Sandy, like I had mentioned, you've been doing this for a number of years, and you've played with some very great, names, and Phil yourself. I know all of you have a pedigree, but this project really stands out. I really would implore people to take a listen, take a test drive. Get behind the project of good people, and that's really where the show comes from. Is showcasing good people doing great things, and producing something that is not just about them. It's about a team, and giving something to the audience. I know a lot of artists don't forget how important it is that without the audience and the consumer and the people buying the t-shirts at the shows, or buying the CDs or the vinyl, or that, that bumper sticker that comes along as a side gift, there wouldn't
honk
be
if you love the Tummies.
Yeah, exactly.
You
wish I thought of that.
You wouldn't have that fan base, and you wouldn't have, it's not the amount of followers and likes online that doesn't define good music, because let's face it, that's kind of superficial. It's the authenticity and the genuine passion, you know. When all of you started doing this, social media had nothing to do with being genuine and authentic. You know, it's a nice thing to have. It helps, but it certainly doesn't make you.
It has saved since the pandemic, and there's no live music, and there's no way to really get out and one-on-one with people. Social media has kind of just stepped up our game, and we've just been able to share with so many more people from around the world and just connect and contact, and something that we would have never had before.
I mean, because of social media, we're being sold, records are being sold in Spain right now. We're getting played in radio in Hawaii.
Radio in Spain too, right?
Radio in Spain, South America.
Colombia.
This is just,
we've been
amazing.
so,
I mean, it's like the musical equivalent of landing on the moon. It's like
it's been pretty exciting.
I know we have limited time, and I just wanted to make a point. I hope you don't mind. No. You know, you mentioned comfort music and how this music feels good. We started this project 5 years ago, and we, even before the pandemic, you know, well before the pandemic, we wanted to make music that was like that, because music can be really intense sometimes, but we wanted to have fun. Anyway, that's it. That's all I want to say.
My counter is telling me I've got 1 minute and 43 seconds on this session. So if we do get cut, I'll just spawn another request, and I'll sew the two segments together. Just FYI, if we do get cut here, I just wanted to let you know.
Okay.
I understand that on the best of terms, putting together a band and writing and producing can be arduous. It's not an easy task. I know you folks make light of it, but to see, I guess you could say, the cohesive relationship, it's very unreal. It's interesting to see this relationship, and I appreciate that, because everyone can't quite unless you're in the field, in the industry, you can't comprehend with this many personalities, and let's face it, egos. You have to have a good ego in order to do this and get out front and put yourself out there with this much talent and ego. And to see this relationship, it really is refreshing. It's definitely a compliment to every one of you individually. You know,
we're really solid friends when it started. I mean, because I met Judd. We had a gig together with a country artist. That's how I met him, and you know, then met Dana obviously through him. I've known Jeremy for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Then Sandy's coming in the picture. So yeah, we were all playing together and other things, and you know, in different combinations. And
I love you, Gennaro. Jesus.
Well, for those of you, welcome back to the show, and thank you very much for coming back in. Sorry about the little delay, the interruption there.
No problem.
Now, in honor of my friendship with Judd, I just want to bring in a sponsor that's not official, but Judd, I can't ever be in your presence without a beverage reminding me of you. I just wanted to throw that out there for you, Judd.
A fine Pilsner beer.
I am proud to be an endorser of this fine project.
As Judd would say, I don't like water; it gets in my mouth.
Bada bing.
Anyways, coming back into what I was speaking about, and I do mean this. It has nothing to do with the show. I don't care really about anyone's reputation or the personalities, because that really isn't important. And that shows your egos, like I had mentioned, Sandy, Phil, all of you, Dana, you have to have an ego. You can't be shy, and you have to be aggressive to be able to take 10 years of no. You have to be aggressive. You have to be assertive. You have to be confident in yourself and your abilities, even if you're not, even if you're shy. And you don't want to go up to somebody at the grocery store and interrupt them and ask them a question. you have to be able to break through that. Now, I know a lot of artists hide behind their wares or their craft, and they go up on stage and they do their thing, but they're a totally different person, even actors or comedians and so forth. Maybe a police officer, for that matter, out in the field, he's a certain way, and he comes home, he's a totally different person. And I see what you folks have created, and that's honest, authentic, consistent, genuine music that represents not only the individuals, but the group. And I would appreciate Sandy and Dana and Judd, if you wouldn't mind telling the audience, telling the people that are going to buy this album, they're going to stream it, however they're going to consume this music and enjoy what you folks have taken for years to put together, what it means to you all for not only this album, but for the next album to come, and what's going to take place when you go do a live show, either whether it be
One question at a time,
or otherwise.
One question at a time. One question at a time, babe. Rewind the question before that last question.
Sure. What does it mean to you folks getting together and producing this music, and what's it going to be like for the next album and touring and playing?
I would defer to my esteemed colleagues to answer that first, because Dana and I are very close to this, so this is our baby. So, we're just overjoyed that these talented folks want to play. So I would actually be very curious to see what these cats want to say about it.
Philip.
Me, I'm up. Okay. We did, I think this record is made up of a couple of different recording sessions, and both of them went so well.
Yes.
And even though the songs are a bit different, not really, but everything's going to feel the same. It's going to have the same vibe, because they definitely have Judd and Dana have the Tummies kind of song vibe down, because it's their songs. Obviously. So, as far as shows, like live shows, we could probably do some local stuff later on in the year. The big, huge festival stuff is going to be the thing that's like the most affected, I think. But, I think on a lesser scale than that, theater shows, club shows are going to get back going. So yeah, we're going to look great.
Always
look fantastic. Fashion is music's here, but fashion's just about here. You got to look good. You got to look good. So we do. So yeah, we're gonna look great. That's my answer.
The reason why I'm in this band is for pure enjoyment of how I feel when I play the music, and how I feel when I'm around these people, and whatever else on top of that happens, it's a complete bonus. Sure. So whatever happens, listen, I do this project because I enjoy it. I on a couple of different levels, as I described, personally and musically, talent-wise. So whatever happens above that, I just want to play with these songs. I want to play with the songs that Judd and Dana are going to write. I want to play with Judd. I want to play with Jeremy. I want to play with Phil, because I love these guys, and they're great players. And we're in the same kind of vibe musically, as far as what we're comfortable in playing. Anything above that, listen, it's not for the money. Whatever financial or whatever other live gigs we do, and whatever happens is a bonus to me, because right now I'm getting what I'm getting out of this gig, and that's enough for me.
Sure. That's a very humble and kind statement, Sandy.
Well, that's the truth, that's how I feel.
Dana, Judd, for you folks to be at the helm of this and putting this together, what do you want your audience to take home from listening to the album and coming and seeing the show when that does happen? What do you want to give to the audience?
Joy.
Smiles.
Joy. I want people to feel good.
That's it.
I want people to feel good. Like the songs and the lyrics aren't like deep in storyteller lyrics like when we would write country songs. They're fun. It's basically, the Tummies are about groove and melody and attitude and fucking
turtlenecks.
pounding drums.
Yeah.
It's like, it's fun. It's fun. It's energy.
But it's also, it's got a bit of an edge because all of us are just rock and rollers.
Totally.
And I can, what's happening with me is that my mother was born and raised in Liverpool, England, and came over to this country in the early 50s. But all, her nieces and nephews, my cousins, they all went to see the Beatles play at the Cavern Club. And, my older brothers they all saw the Beatles play at Shea Stadium. So from the day I remember having memory, 2-3 years old, all it was Beatles records.
Wow.
And then I got them from my sister, and I just brought them into my bedroom when my sister went away to college. And so, the original pressings and everything, and just Capitol, never forget, they just got so scratched and warped that I taped pennies onto the
I remember that.
turn.
I'm doing that too.
Yep.
I remember that.
So, to me, it brings back memories of more innocent times, and just, even though it wasn't innocent, there was a lot of stuff going on with my family and my life, but that music was a constant source of comfort and joy to me.
Sure.
And,
and that's what we want to, that's what we want to share.
It's that simple.
It's not rocket science for us with the Tummies. I truly believe that Judd and I just want to share our songs with everybody, and we want everyone to dig them as much as we dig them.
That's it.
Seriously. Like, we love writing them and we love sharing them. That's really it. And we love playing with them with Jeremy and Phil and Sandy. Like, it's everything I want to do. It's everything I want to do all day, every day.
That's a ton of passion. That's a lot of passion behind that rocket ship.
It's just real,
going out in orbit. Yeah, no, it is. And I asked the question because you don't have the opportunity sometimes when an artist is speaking about an album or a tour or something that's happened in the past. It's a rare glimpse to get that amount of passion and insight behind people coming from different, not just music genres themselves, but career paths, coming together and meeting at one common intersection. And I wanted to ask that and touch upon that so people can get an idea of what they're looking forward to doing by going to the website, checking out the social media, obviously listening to the music, but also coming to a show and following you folks, depending on where you folks end up playing in the next 3 months, 6 months, a year from now. To give an idea, Sandy, you have an East Coast background. Judd, you have a dynamic of the same. There's a lot of interesting moving parts of the personalities, but when brought together, it's really interesting stuff to get that product. And
I just had an epiphany. I literally just had an epiphany.
Sure.
I feel like the Tummies is like a scratch ticket. Like, you scratch 1 and there's Jeremy's face. You scratch 2, there's Philip's face. You scratch 3, there's Sandy's face. You scratch 4, there's me. And then you scratch the bonus and it's Johnny! I swear to God. I feel like that's it's a winning lottery ticket.
That's
for me.
our next album cover.
It
totally is.
Go ahead, Phil.
Oh yeah, I was saying that's a good idea. That's a good album title.
I just see it in my head. Like, we're like, you guys are like my winning scratch tickets.
That's great.
Like, it's like, and it's not even like a $2 win free ticket. It's a bigger number than that.
By the way, we would be remiss in our duty if we didn't mention our wonderful producer and engineer,
Yes,
Caleb Sherman of
Right.
Sigma Sound Studios here in Nashville, and he has the patience of a saint because
yes.
Dana and I can be a little picky.
Well, no.
With mixes.
We just hear what we hear, and we just have to find
But he's done us a bunch of solids, you know, because as you know, it's been a tough year and financially we're not, you know, we're that's why it's taken so many years. We're you know, we're building it from the ground up, and
we make money, we record. We make money, we record.
We save some money.
We make money, we pay the kids. We make a record. That's
you know, it's taken a while, but because we also believe that these guys are so talented, Caleb and the band, you know, Jer, Phil, and Sandy, that they deserve every penny. And I'm not going to ask anyone to do a favor.
We don't.
Because I honestly don't like it when someone asks me to do a favor with a craft that I've, you know, practiced over the years.
What's your point?
But I totally would. I'm going to go and put that out. I was like, well, yeah, I'll go play.
Because you know we need you, Philip.
I know, but about Caleb too, with the mixes, it's with the gear that we use to get it to sound decades.
Yeah.
Like, and not really, it isn't like a retro record. That's what I like about it. It definitely is familiar,
Right.
but it isn't like a throwback, you know, it doesn't, you know, but to get it to feel kind of like that is definitely, it's definitely a thing. You know, it isn't just putting the faders up and going, oh, it's great, it sounds awesome. It's like, well, it sounds a little bit too new.
Yeah.
It sounds a little bit too old. You don't want it to, you know, a throwback, total retro thing.
Right. Totally.
So that's a really good point, Philip.
Really sounds. I was really happy when I got the final mixes and the you know the digital, the ones and zeros and the vinyl, both sound like really great. Not old, not new, just sounds right for what the songs are, for what the music is.
That's so amazing you brought that point up, because I did not want to make the obvious choice of soaking it in plate reverb and just go, oh, okay, yeah, we're trying to sound like 1960. Yeah. And that is due to Caleb. He insisted on that. He was like, he was kind of like, okay, well, I want to, you know, I remember him saying, it's like, well, there's got to be just a little bit of modern pop production.
Absolutely.
And so Caleb insisted on that. And he was, you know, I first wanted to be real Joe vintage, and but he dissuaded me from that opinion, and he was right.
Well, the songs are already Joe vintage, so it's like find a happy medium and find your happy middle ground. And I swear that's what we did. It's like we have vintage sounding style songs, but with like Phil's and Jer's guitars are, you know, loud and raucous and electric and fun, and Sandy's drumming, and one of my favorite moments is Sandy playing All the Bottles.
Right.
That's one of my favorites, and that turned out so great. That was Under the Covers. It was like ding 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 ding. It was so fun.
We were trying to emulate What Am I Doing Hanging Around, the Monkey song or something.
Yes.
Wasn't that something?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, I was going to say, Caleb is awesome. I love working with him as a drummer. But with all due respect, you can't polish cocky. And what was coming out of Philip's guitar amp and Jeremy's amp, I mean, the guitars and the amps and Judd's amp and the bass sound, you know, Caleb had a lot of good crap to work with. You know what I mean? To polish that and to make it a Tummies record. But the sources were quality to start with, because you can't polish shit.
No, and you can't color that anyway.
No amount of outboard gear is going to cover a really bad sounding amp. No. You know.
Caleb's been a magic man for us. I mean, I've known Caleb since the early 90s, New York City. He worked at Unique Recording Studios, and my best friends owned the studio, Bobby and Joanne. And so Caleb and I have had history for years and years and years. And, you know, he and Monique moved to Nashville the exact same time Juddy and I did. So our journey is very, very entwined and has been very connected. So I believe that he's known me for a very long time. And when he signed on to this project and we told him what we were up to, he was like, yep, I know you, Dana. I know what you're doing. And so it was, he made the magic for us. So,
and he, a powwow between Dana, Caleb, and myself, we decided, I don't think there's a stitch of reverb on the vocals.
Yeah, it's very, very funny. Judd and I, when we first started mixing the record, we said pull every reverb off and we'll listen. And if we think that it needs something, we will. And Judd and I started with 0 reverb on the vocals.
There might be just a smidge, but I mean, there's very little reverb.
Caleb fought us on that one. He's like, dudes, you're gonna want some. We're like, well, let's just start with none and see where we go.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
We we recorded very, I mean, for the gear we use, we did do it very analog and very kind of, well, there's no tuning, you know, it's not grid. It isn't on the grid. It's just, we just played. And so we used the modern gear, but, you know, used it in a very analog, old school way, I suppose.
Yeah, we didn't abuse its powers.
Exactly.
You guys kept a very fine, I guess you could say, delineation of everything in balance, and it gives, there's a lot of texture. There's a lot of moving parts, but there's a lot of texture, and it doesn't, you're not pigeonholed into one genre or vibe. It moves very well, and it grabs you. So, and I listen to a lot of different types of music. So,
where did it grab you, Dean?
That's a good question.
Just curious.
That's a $1 million question.
As a family show, Dana, I'll
just curious.
I'll just answer that for the record. But it makes me want to get up and dance. It makes me want to smile. It makes me want to listen to the next song. I play the drums, and so that organic rhythm of each song, you know, I gravitate towards. But then I also dig into the lyrics, and I also dig into what each song stands for. And it might just be something trivial, might mean nonsense. It doesn't have to have a powerful meaning. Not every song has to move you in a direction of a Nobel Peace Prize. It can just be fun. It can just be
fun is good.
You don't have to think. You know,
fun is good.
It's like a digital watch. It tells you the time.
If anyone knows Judd and I, they know that we are Ma and Pa fun.
It's on their mailbox, actually. Ma and Pa fun. Live here.
Ma and Pa fun.
Ma and Pa fun.
Honestly, Judd and I have so much fun together. It's been years of music, the two of us together, and like understanding and loving, and it's just, we just want to share what we do. Yes, and that you feel fun from what we give is exactly what we hoped.
Now, sometimes there's some thick moments during the creative process when Dana and I write. It could be like, a lot of times I have to walk into the kitchen, or she will have to walk into the kitchen when I'm being an a-hole about a certain lyric or a chord change. But it's part of the fun.
Few and far between. Mm-hmm. And far between.
But I'm just saying it's not a seamless. We're not
of course.
No, we're creating, and it's like when you're baking a cake. God forbid you put too much salt. You can't take it out. Got to throw it away and start over.
Nothing's going to be that perfect and sterile from the get-go. You've got to have those little messes and those hiccups, and you got to get the eraser out and clean up. No matter what you're doing, it's like remodeling.
We use a Sharpie and scratch out lyrics and just rewrite.
Yeah. No,
white out.
White out.
Which, by the way, didn't Mike Nesmith's
mom, Mike Nesmith's mother invented whiteout?
So that's
absolutely
true.
That's true. That's true.
I think Sandy told us that.
Yeah,
it's very true. And the punchline to that story is that she sold the rights to whiteout to Gillette or some other company, and for billions of dollars or millions of dollars at least. And then about maybe a short time later, I don't know how long, but the internet and word processing came about, and whiteout was worth about 1/10 of the original value.
Whiteout was worn out.
Mike Nesmith was laughing. He was laughing all the way in his dirty cowboy boots. He was laughing all the way to the bank.
That's great.
I love
That's
it.
Great. If there was one song that all of you can agree upon, I know there's a single out, but let's talk about that for a second. And before we sign off for this episode, I'd like to talk about a little bit of brief history of everyone's tenure, if you will, and maybe just a brief rig rundown for those at home that are gear geeks. But we're gonna cut to a video here in a minute. Which song do you folks want to showcase and talk about that means something to you for right now?
No, that's it. That's like the hardest. That's like saying, like, so you have 8 kids. Which one's your favorite? Like,
sure.
really?
I had to look at the CD. I had to look at the CD right here.
I'm like, good God, Dean. I mean, they all have such different meanings to Judd and I, like different moments in our goofiness. But I mean,
I got nothing.
No,
I'm.
Yeah, it's hard. What's the one? What's the video going to be played? Which one?
Which video would you folks like the audience to
show.
Well, no, I think the new one. I think the new one we did because we tracked it live. That isn't the record version of
right.
We're not lip syncing. We played that.
Philip, are you being modest? Are you being?
That's all one pass. Actually, it was like when we got done. I'm like, oh wait, that was it. Cool. So yeah,
the latest video we did,
Little Blue Heart.
Right.
Blue Heart. Yeah.
Went in there, and did like a 1-camera shoot, and we just played it live. And that's a live track. Sure, we had to stage some shots because it was 1-camera shoot, but that track you hear going by is live.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and we're going to play that now, and we're going to cut to that for just for a moment here.
There's a little blue heart beating in my chest tonight, where there once was a feeling that everything was alright. Yeah, there's a little blue heart. It's sad, but it's true that I'm falling apart with a little blue heart, all because of you. There's a little blue tear falling down my face tonight, where there once was a smile that lit up the darkest night. Yeah, there's a little blue tear. It's sad, but it's true that I'm falling apart with a little blue heart, all because of you. Yeah.
What is that song, Philip? Is that Vanilla?
Vanilla Fudge.
Vanilla Fudge.
Keep me hanging on.
Yep.
Woo!
Sandy, I'm sure you know Carmine.
Yeah, I know him very well.
Carmine.
He's another geese at each. He's another good guy.
Carmine from China Club, Bobby Nathan, all those old days.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I did one of the most fun tours I did was a drum battle tour with Carmine, Mike DeRosia, the original drummer from Heart, and Bruce Crump, the original drummer in Molly Hatchet. We went out to 4 drummers, and Carmine was hawking the Mattel Synsonics drum machine as the sponsor. So we all kind of soloed on the Synsonics, but we had 4 drum sets on the stage in a semicircle, and we all did solos. We kind of, Carmine did a solo, and then he went into a predetermined groove, and I took over on the groove, and then I did a solo, and so on and so forth.
That's so cool.
And the punchline to that was we judged in each city. We went to 14 cities. In each city, we judged a drum contest that was all the contestants were prearranged, and the winner in each city got flown to L.A. and it was the final contest, and we all judged it. And he had Buddy Rich came out to judge the finals, and Bunny Carlos and whatever.
Oh,
but Sonny Emery won the drum battle, and he went on to play with Earth, Wind and Fire. He's still with Earth, Wind and Fire right now.
No
That's a
way.
great story, Sandy.
So Carmine and I have become very close friends over the years. He stayed at my house and whatever. He's a funny character.
I love it.
Hey, Philip, were you in the band with me and Rodney when the lighting director was friends with Carmine? And
I talked to him on the phone.
yeah, we all did.
We all talked to Carmine on the phone. Yeah, Kevin, our drummer Kevin Rapillo was freaking out because he had the modern drumming. You know, Carmine had the rock drumming technique book, like the first one.
Realistic rock.
Realistic rock. So Kevin had that, and I was talking to him about Cactus, and he was great. He was asking me about coming to Nashville and getting country gigs. I was like,
Yeah, right.
Wow, you're Carmine Abyss.
I'll tell you what, he's got a really nice body of work. I mean, the Cactus stuff is just burning. And Rusty Day and Jim McCarty from the Detroit Wheels from Detroit. Mm-hmm. And then he was with Jeff Beck. Him and Tim Bogart went and did BBA, Beck Bogart Apathy. And that record burns, man. And Carmine and Timmy are doing all the vocals, like that really long vibrato, like
Yeah,
it was awesome.
And he wrote the Rod Stewart stuff.
Let's not get carried away, Phil.
Well, according to him.
Well, he wrote, he co-wrote "Do You Think I'm Sexy?" He co-wrote.
Yeah.
Him and Dwayne Hitchings wrote the ba da 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 ba da 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 da. That's his contribution, and Rod gave him part of the writers' royalties on it. So,
wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Wow, that's awesome.
Amazing stuff.
And I think he might have had something to do with Young Turks. Young hearts be free tonight. I'm not sure. But he's a meatball. I call him Meatball.
Gabagool.
Gabagool.
Gabagool. Isn't it Gabagool?
No, it's Gabagool. Gabagool.
Gabagool.
Gabagool.
It's not spelled like that at all either.
No, it ain't. And mozzarella ain't spelled, you say mozzarella.
That's how I say mozzarella.
No, I hit him in the head constantly. I'm like, shut up. You're not Italian.
You know what? I almost did a spit take once. I was in a diner in Texas, and the guy behind me goes to the waitress. I think it was a Denny's, and the guy goes, "Hey, ma'am, can I get some Parmesan cheese?" Instead of Parmesan cheese to the uneducated, it's Parmesan.
Isn't that like Buddy Laserbeam?
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Danny Laserbian.
Danny Laserbian.
Oh gosh.
Same thing.
It's the same thing. But anyway,
I thought he was a fellow Armenian. I'm like, it's not pronounced Laserbeam. It's Danny Laserbium.
Right.
That's incredible.
Speaking of stories, I have to. I think I've told Phil and Sandy this, but my family. A lot of my mom was from Liverpool.
You've already said that.
No, I know, but I met my uncle Wall for the first time in the early 80s. He came over and visited my mom. He was married to my mom's sister, and he had this thick Liverpool accent. I couldn't understand a word he was saying. He just like, and I'm going like, I'm sorry, what?
Pardon me, sir?
And he was telling the story. Apparently he hired John and Paul to play a little church function somewhere in Liverpool when they were just on 2 acoustic guitars. And I said, through the interpreter, which was his wife, she said, "We hired John and Paul to play a church dance once." And he went something like, and she says, he didn't like them much. He thought they were a couple of punks.
That's a good story.
So I wanted to get that in.
That's a good story.
Well, before we close, I do want to thank all of you very much for joining the show today and talking about the album. I'll go with you, Dana and Judd, just very quickly before we close out. Just talk a little bit about where you've both folks have been and a little bit of gear. And then we'll scoot over to Sandy and Phil as well.
Okay, so you're talking gear talk now?
A little bit of gear and what you've done with your career. Just a little bit about.
That's two different questions.
Yeah. I thought it was gear.
See, why are you here? I think he said, I can't hear so good.
That dog is looking at me funny. I can't see so good.
That's a Liam Bailey riff.
Okay, that's funny.
All right. Too good.
Okay, first question first.
Yeah, just a little bit about where you've come from with your career and what you've done, and a little bit about what gear you're using, just for the gear geeks out there.
Go.
Okay, I don't use gear. I'm a singer, and I write songs.
She was a great session singer.
This is my gear right here.
Right.
I take it with me every day. Sometimes I abuse it. Sometimes I'm very gentle with it. Today I had some throat coat tea. I'm just a singer. I'm a singer my whole life. I had my first band in 1979 called The Advocates. Like I was 15 years old. I've always just been a singer played music because I love it. Had a conversation with my dad, and he's just like, you kids, if you could have done something more with your life, not just play music. You know, it's like, that's all I've ever done. Moved to New York City in the 90s. I was a jingle singer. I played in a million bands, sang on everyone's records. I just have always loved to sing, and I've been very lucky that people hire me to sing on their projects, on their records, and no. And I get people hire me to sing, and that's been really fun for me. All kinds of different genres and different projects. But my most favorite thing that I've ever done is meet this thing and write songs for the Tummies.
Wow. Very special.
I was fortunate enough to tour with some greats and record with some greats. Among them, Carly Simon, Peter Wolf from the Jay Giles Band, Sandy and I have something in common that we both did a bunch of shows with Bo Diddley, and that was pretty cool. Bo was the coolest guy ever. I once convinced him to take a bottle of, do you remember Goldschlager?
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, with the sparkles in it.
Yeah.
So we're up in a dressing room on some show, and it was around Christmas, and he was going like, well, I have to buy someone Christmas presents. I don't know what to get. And we had beer and whiskey and vodka, and no one had touched the Goldschlager. So my friend Joe Yakubian and I,
You've told me the story.
We take the bottle of Goldschlager and go, Bo, just re-gift this. And he goes, good idea.
Oh, he appreciated that, man. He appreciated. He didn't have to spend another $6 for another present.
There you go.
So I've just had a great career. I was fortunate enough to spend 10 years on the road with Philip, with the Country Star, and that's how Philip and I got close. And, I can't do much else.
He's a good doggy daddy.
I'm a good doggy daddy.
Yes.
Doggy daggity. Diggity
Diggity,
daggity. Yeah.
All right.
Continue. Moving on.
We're coming up on 3 minutes here before.
Oh, God. Okay. Go,
Mine's
Phil.
fast.
So,
Mine's
Phil.
fast.
I don't rush anybody.
Moved. Started playing saxophone at like age 10. Played drums at 3 and 4. My brother was a drummer. Did all kinds of stuff. Moved to Nashville in 2004, and have done everything I've been available to do since that day. Moved up here, and here we are. Here's the album. Here's the album cover right there.
There it is.
Show that.
Awesome.
I use vintage guitars, not old guitars, but the company vintage. They're great. And whatever amps are around. I love my Kemper. I'm in the dark side. So yeah, that's it for me.
I love you, Phil.
Philip's being
Well, go ahead.
Some great.
We have
bands.
1 minute left. Sandy's discography.
Phil, I'm sorry. Phil, Phil, why don't you mention who you play with, man?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, go ahead, Phil.
I'm in German metal legendary band Accept. Also, I'm in Ace Frehley's band as the bass player, and Gene Simmons before that, the one with the tongue, and Rodney Atkins with that, John Karabi, all kinds of stuff. So.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to make this really short and sweet. If you want to know what I did, the spelling of my last name is Genn, like Nancy, ARO. Google it. The gear that I play with is DW drums, Zildjian cymbals, hot sticks, and a smile on my face.
And his records are behind his head back there.
Yeah.
Those are all my records.
Well, I know, Sandy, that it's very humble of you to go down that path of.
Well, listen, if we had more time, I'd bore you to death with my credits.
No.
Don't get me wrong.
Oh, I would,
No, only kidding. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I do know the reputations and you could say the credits to everyone is very stellar. And I do know a little bit about each and every one of you. And I wanted to showcase that to the audience. And unfortunately, as we're coming up to the close of our segment today, I do want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today and being part of the show, but also for giving back to the community of music, not just for money, but for the passion of music and going about something with the right reasons and motivation always is the right thing and is the right path to take, because if you do it with the right intentions, things come back around the right way. So
Well, thank you, Dean, for having
Absolutely.
us. Thank you.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
it
us
so
on.
much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Judd Fuller, Jane Radford, Sandy Gennaro, Philip Shouse. Jeremy could not be here today. We want to give a shout out to
Jared. He's over there.
Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. All the social media and the website for the Tummies is coming around the corner, and thank you very much, everyone. Please take care. Be safe. Peace, everybody.
Love you.
Thank you for joining us
I'm
on the
so
patio.
glad we had this
thank you for
time
letting
together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long.
Good night, everybody.
So long, everybody. Thank you.
Guys. Love you.
I'll be well.
Thank you guys.
Peace, everybody.
Love you guys.
See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
Bye, guys. Oh, yeah, see you tomorrow.
Mañana.
That's a wrap.